Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books. Today we're talking about, can The Rock seize control of DC? And when I say DC, I'm asking about DC, the film and TV division at Warner Brothers that has no leadership right now. Sorry, Walter. But it has no real leadership right now. And, I mean, the comics would be included. It would just be kind of an afterthought. As if you're taking over the planet and you're giving somebody a little extra country to play with. I think it's possible. I think it's really possible. I'm starting to kind of see a pattern emerge. If you follow my channel, you know that I've done, 36 or so videos on Warner Brothers Discovery. This will be 37. Talking about their business and their plans and their recruitment of trying to find someone to be the next Kevin Feige to kind of dictate what the aesthetics and the brand and the quality and the budgets and the marketing and the promotion and the energy need to be for DC films and TV shows. I didn't think Dan Lin sounded like he was anything great. And, everybody talks about Zack Snyder being great. I like the Zack Snyder films. And I liked a lot of, I liked Wonder Woman, the first one. But as far as clear leadership and focus and energy, The Rock could bring something to it. He's already doing some things kind of behind the scenes that are a little inappropriate in my judgment in terms of, from a management's perspective, like you do not want people outside of your executive management team making deals for talent, for example. And apparently The Rock was involved in getting Henry Cavill to come in as Superman. Like that, what are you doing for the Flash? Like he's already making these kinds of moves as if somehow he's involved with, making talent deals. Now, I have mixed feelings about this, as from a management standpoint, I look at it and say like, wait a minute, hold on a second. And Walter Hamada is still supposed to be in charge over there. What the hell's going on? The answer is, someone has to care about the content. And it does matter, like, well, so who cares? But The Rock he's an entity, kind of on his own. He has his own production company, which every celebrity has their own production company, but he's producing the films that he's in. He just produced DC Super Pets also, which wasn't a gigantic hit, but I mean, obviously got him a lot of contacts in as DC and Warner Brothers. He's always looking to do something enormous and some sort of a big deal. He's a great businessman. He's got tremendous personal energy. If you think about someone involved in the business of entertainment, as well as functioning as an actor in that entertainment, could he be the Stan Lee of DC Comics, but for the film and the TV as well? Potentially. I mean, I could see it working. I don't know. I haven't heard about a lot of business deals that went wrong that The Rock was involved in. Some films do better than other films, but it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him as well. Why would he not want to do something like that? And something that really, part of what got me interested in this and got me thinking about this was, well, of course, my background in doing, multiple videos about Warner Brothers Discovery and also caring about comics, but also this article from Matt McGloin in Cosmic Book News, Comic-Con Scoop confirmed Dwayne Johnson wants to take over DCEU. I was like, all right, well, that's silly. But then I'm thinking about it like, that's actually not that silly. It really isn't. Because if the relationship with management was good, if they have an understanding of what they want to accomplish over the next 5-10 years, he could be out there promoting, again, the way Stan Lee used to promote Marvel Comics. There's no celebrity editorial people over at Marvel Comics or DC Comics has some great artists. Jim Lee is working there, but it doesn't feel like he represents DC. But if this Black Adam movie is a blockbuster, or if it does as well as, say, just Aquaman or Wonder Woman, there's a damn good chance. Let's get into this first article in more detail. Before we do, Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up when you like it. It's been a huge help. You guys have been giving me a lot of support. Thanks again for sharing it also on social media. The channel is doing really well, and I appreciate it. Comic-Con scoop confirmed. Dwayne Johnson wants to take over DCEU. Black Adam vs. Justice League vs. Suicide Squad. Well, that sounds like that project would get pretty confusing pretty quickly. Dwayne Johnson may already be making moves to take over the DC Films universe. He is making moves. I mean, there's no question he's making moves or not. And, he's a big talent. He's not just talent. Remember, he's a pretty serious businessman. He's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of influence. And as a producer, you meet all the right people. You get the right reputation. His projects make money. People know he's focused on quality and making money. It's likely. Another one of my scoops, okay, this is from Matt McGloin from Comic-Con, is confirmed, which deals with Dwayne Johnson wanting to take over the DCEU. DC insiders told Matt about a Stan Lee take on the DC Comics thing happening, which was recently announced by DC Comics. That sounds strange to me, that whole Stan Lee take. But it's just kind of a qualification that, Matt's information sometimes is excellent. As he said, his buddies chatted with Batman producer Michael Uslan as we walked home from dinner. Now, Michael Uslan was the producer of the original Batman movie in 1989. He must have made a fortune on that. The movie did phenomenal, and it kind of re-ushered in more comics-based films. I mean, it was really the first big one in the 1980s. And then as technology improved and we got Spider-Man and Matrix, I mean, now it's, stories written, basically. Comics to film is enormous. It's so big that now Disney can afford to ruin theirs. That's another story. That was yesterday's video. Regarding Dwayne Johnson, Matt was told that Dwayne Johnson wants to take over the DC Films universe, but that depends on how well Black Adam performs with fans and at the box office. This is true. Obviously, if Black Adam did terribly, then people would not be into whatever his vision is. If it does incredibly well, or again, as well as Aquaman or the first Wonder Woman, that's plenty enough that if there's no one else standing around, why would you not have The Rock do it? I know why I wouldn't. Because he's going to be so enmeshed and involved with talent that he's talk about Kevin Feige having control. He would have tremendous control over the business, which it's difficult to manage that. Matt was also told Henry Cavill can return to Superman if he wants to, which seems to be the case. YouTuber Grace Randolph backs up Matt's claims as she also thinks Dwayne Johnson and his production team want to take over DCEU. Well, I'm sure she's correct. I mean, there's no reason why a producer and an actor who is obviously interested in the DC properties would not want to seize control of DC. And this ain't the comics. This is everything. Famously, in the original Batman movie, Jack Nicholson was cut a deal on merchandising and licensing so that he would receive licensing percentages, enormous amounts. I think I made something like $50 million, which used to be a lot of money. It still sort of is a lot of money, but back then it was even a heck of a lot of money. Let's put it that way. And Jack Nicholson, to get him to be the Joker, which, was worth it because Jack Nicholson was incredible as the Joker. But yeah, this is a business and a creative opportunity like The Rock has never seen before. And DC Comics could use something like this to just basically stand out incredibly well. I don't know. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. People may have a lot of opinions about this that I'm not thinking about. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. Dwayne Johnson pitched Black Adam versus Justice League versus Suicide Squad. As management, that just the whole premise of all of that, of like so many characters in one project. I mean, just Justice League was fine, but it didn't do as well as it should have. It didn't get finished as well as it should have. Suicide Squad, the most recent one, was not all that great, at least for me. Had some of its moments, but this many characters in one film is a problem. In a video Randolph posted last week, Friday, Randolph revealed that Dwayne Johnson has pitched a Black Adam vs. Justice League vs. Suicide Squad movie. That's pretty ambitious. Randolph also suggests that Dwayne Johnson could actually become the Kevin, well, yes, that's what we're talking about, of the DCEU, but not exactly like Feige. Well, no, he's not Feige. He's The Rock, so his focus would be on, okay, let's make sure these movies are very high energy, are well done, that we've got top producing talent, top acting talent, and it would all just basically be a tremendous adrenaline rush, all of his projects. I think he needs to clear his head, though, of trying to think about having massively complicated, gigantic films when they can just get the single characters right first, and then look at a crossover eventually down the line. But we'll see. As she notes, Dwayne Johnson comes from a background involving wrestling, so The Rock really knows spectacle and he knows what fans want. Well, he certainly knows what fans want, and he's got a massive following. He would bring tremendous energy to the DC universe. Black Adam versus Justice League versus Suicide Squad movie could be something like Suicide Squad trying to kill the Justice League, where Black Adam is involved, with the Justice League and Suicide Squad teaming to take down Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam on the level of an Avengers Endgame movie. It's too much. That's my take on it, is it's too much. But I would probably say that about a lot of things. But it does seem like, if you look at the Snyder's Justice League cut, it's 4 hours. It is a bit much. And you have to do a big movie to show, if you've got characters that you're trying to introduce and you're trying to show the characters independently in action and then interacting together as part of a larger story, it becomes a heck of a lot to fit into one sitting. This pitch also follows Black Adam taking on the JSA, but a much more grander scale involving all the DCU characters. Interestingly enough, the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game has been delayed, which may or may not be related. Who knows? Dwayne Johnson bringing the DCEU together. It's known Viola Davis in Black Adam as Amanda Waller, that Ben Affleck is appearing in both The Flash and now Aquaman 2. It's rude Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman appears in Shazam. I will tell you something. She could appear in anything, Gal Gadot, as Wonder Woman. She's doing a great job as Wonder Woman. She brings so much to that character and to the franchise. The recent Wonder Woman movie was not good. But the first one was great, and all her other appearances seem to be great. Gadot is confirmed for The Flash, and Henry Cavill is rumored for Black Adam, and now The Flash. Update. Thank Dwayne Johnson for Henry Cavill returning as Superman in The Flash. See, that's a thing where it's like, that's odd. If you're management, you're like, well, wait, what's going on? This talent is recruiting other talent to be in this other film. It's like, wait, this is complicated. But it's like, that's the role of a producer. That's not the role of an actor, for sure. Putting everything together, it seems as if Dwayne Johnson is bridging the DCEU to become more cohesive, which again, according to Rudolph, may culminate in a Black Adam versus Justice League versus Suicide Squad movie. Randolph also adds that Dwayne Johnson isn't pitching Man of Steel 2 or Justice League 2, but we see Johnson wants himself at the center of the DCEU as he wants to take things over at DC along with his $7 production company. And this is the Wikipedia for it. I'll have a link to this so you can kind of check out what the heck he's doing. I think he probably can. If he really wants to do it, I think he can do it. Who else wants to run DC these days, right? It should also be said that it seems as if the DC Trinity is back, as Henry Cavill is said to be back as Superman, Ben Affleck is getting more screen time as Batman, and so is Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. This is excellent. They all do just fine. They all do just fine in those roles, and that brings a lot of value. Randolph previously said that a DC female Trinity was being launched, consisting of Gal Gadot alongside Sasha Calle as Supergirl and Leslie Grace as Batgirl. Well, we know that's not going to happen. No, that is not happening. You can't compare. You couldn't compare those three with these three guys. Gal Gadot's fine as Wonder Woman. But beyond that, no. Dwayne Johnson is in charge of DC, may help explain things. If this all happens to be a go, it would take place after the Flash movie, and it explains the recent changes involving Ben Affleck as Batman, the Sasha Calle Supergirl movie not happening, and while not touched upon, maybe even why Batgirl has been canceled. No. Which seems to involve the downgrade of Michael Keaton as Batman in favor of Affleck back as Batman. You can't have... I mean, look. I've covered the Batgirl cancellation a lot. And no, that movie was not destined to be made. It does not represent the brand well. It doesn't represent the strategy for DC, for the film catalog. But it also doesn't even represent the HBO Max versus theatrical strategy that the management has now. Which is every film with a DC brand needs to be able to go and be shown in theaters so it can make tons of money and it can build the overall brand, not be something whipped out on HBO Max with little impact and little discussion and, maybe a terrible movie. It got bad screenings. So it can't just be a mediocre film. It's got to be something that's going to generate hundreds of millions and hopefully more than $1 billion. So if it doesn't fit that, it ain't coming out. It may also explain why all the J.J. Abrams projects are getting canceled, and maybe even the rumor about Robert Pattinson Batman eventually being phased out. J.J. Abrams projects are being canceled because he's doing stuff that doesn't fit with the management strategy of the company, like Constantine 2. Constantine 2, he is a part of J.J. Abrams, but that is going to fit the company strategy because it's going to have Keanu Reeves and probably be a damn good movie. I don't think the Zaslav team are putting out any lousy movies. They're not doing it. Johnson would also need to straighten out Ezra Miller, which, if anybody could, he could go slap him around, I suppose, and Ray Fisher, who does not seem like he could make it back unless Dwayne Johnson became like a father figure to Ray Fisher. Did videos on Ray Fisher back in the day when Fisher was getting all spicy about accusations and whatever his claims were. And Ray Fisher got a significant role in Justice League and potentially the whole DC universe, especially in the Snyder Cut. And he just threw it away because he wasn't mature enough to work with professionals. I don't know. Big mess. Johnson could straighten out Ezra Miller, probably. I don't know what the relationship is he has with Ray Fisher, but you can see, like, The Rock, he could mentor some of this young talent that maybe didn't have the right father figure or didn't know how to be raised right, to be focused on, listen, this is what you need to do at work. This is what you need to do personally. This is how you interact with management. Someone needs to explain that to these young people. The Rock could be the guy. We can also add that it means we'll see John Cena go one-on-one with the Great One on the big screen. Who can see that happening? And guess what the same DC insiders have told Matt? Yes, that Zack Snyder may not be done yet. Zack Snyder, someone would have to bring him back. I think the Zaslav people would love nothing more than to have somebody really capable who could represent DC well, help deal with talent. And, of course, he'll make his producing fees. The Rock, on top of that, he'll make a fortune. And the Zaslav people would be thrilled. The problem is, can you really trust this guy with your entire, recreated, essentially, Marvel cinematic universe of DC characters? And, I don't see why not. If that's what he wants to do, and he's held accountable through contracts, why not? What's been The Rock's catchphrase from day one? The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change. And what is he now stating? The new era of DC universe begins. And the Black Adam is opening on October 21st. I think he could do it. He's a very rare mix of individual in terms of his talent, his energy, his personal fan following. This film needs to work. This film needs to make money. If it makes money, I think he's in. I don't see why not. If not, you lose somebody that pulls the whole thing together. It's very interesting right now. Okay, this article is also from Cosmic Book News. Thank Dwayne Johnson for Henry Cavill back as Superman in The Flash. Dwayne Johnson has big plans for the DCEU, which is exactly what our insiders told us at Comic-Con. Tell you what, Comic Book News is a great site. Matt McGloin runs it and always got good insight. Yesterday, I went over how Dwayne Johnson wants to take over the DCEU, as first told to Matt by DC insiders at Comic-Con, and now is also reported that Johnson is the one who got Henry Cavill back as Superman in The Flash. I mean, that is making moves. There have been rumors for quite some time, not only recently, that Henry Cavill will appear as Superman in The Flash, and according to Giant Freaking Robot, we have Dwayne Johnson to thank for it. The site offers that Henry Cavill is being brought back as Superman at the request of Dwayne Johnson, who convinced David Zaslav and Warner Bros. Discovery to bring Cavill in for new scenes. Great job, The Rock. It's said that Henry Cavill is specifically being brought in as Superman for the ending of the movie, but what exactly that means remains to be seen. Dwayne, he knows how to create buzz. Absolutely, it's a great idea. Dwayne Johnson has big DC plans. According to rumors, the original plan for The Flash was to have the Sasha Calle Supergirl become the new Superman of the DCEU. Not a good idea. In the movie, an alternate universe Zod, Michael Shannon is confirmed for The Flash, as is Anjay Trayu, would kill the baby Kal-El on Krypton before he escapes to Earth and becomes Superman. Sasha Calle would then make her way to Earth and become Supergirl, the Superman of her Earth, which would merge with the DCEU universe. Well, as Matt went over yesterday, that all appears to be no longer happening, as apparently Dwayne Johnson and his $7 production team are taking over the DC Films universe. I mean, that is what we're talking about right now. And if that is something he actually pulled off, killing that ridiculous idea of removing Superman from the universe and sticking in Supergirl in his place, he's already doing a great job. Johnson's business partner and former wife, Dani Garcia, happens to manage Henry Cavill, so, I did not know that. That's a pretty good connection. So we see how this is all working out and how it all fits. I mean, well, that's, he does know somebody who he could call. That would be his ex-wife, to say, hey, can we just get Henry back in that movie? I know you represent him. I mean, the connections and network are kind of everything. It's also said Henry Cavill will appear at the end of the Black Adam movie, which gets released October 21st. Rumors have actually offered that Henry Cavill has already filmed Superman scenes. Regarding what The Rock has planned for the DCEU, it's said to be an Avengers Endgame level movie event involving Black Adam versus Justice League and more, which we have just talked about. That's a bit much. I think it's complicated, but I'm not The Rock, so The Rock might know a lot better than me. I'd like to know what you think about it, though, in the comments below. All right, please do be sure you are subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate your subscription. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up when you like it. Thank you so much for helping to support the channel. It does mean a lot, and the channel is growing, and I appreciate that. It's going to let me do more videos, and I'll always continue to really appreciate you guys. All right, I'll see you again soon with another video. If I don't see you, I will miss you.